Six Nations Team of the Week for round number 3. Interesting round. Interesting in that, that Italian-Ireland game was just plain bizarre. The French still seem to be on a roll. The English and Welsh game was a bit of a damp squib in the old first half, but has had a very lot of good play and action in the second. But yeah, we'll go through 15 guys, plus a few honourable mentions, and you guys can let me know your thoughts who would have been in your team of the week if you're picking one, because mine is definitely not the right version. It's just mine. Here we go. We'll start with the Frenchman. I'm starting to think I've got a bit of a fanboy crush on old CYRIL BAILLE. He's just been pretty tidy the whole tournament, hasn't he? Scrummaging is good, which is kind of the minimum standard for a prop, but man, some of his stuff around the field was just extra next level impressive. He ends up with a try assist, which is that crazy offload to Moefana for his try. So good hands from the big man. 5 runs, 24 meters. He's got a clean break. What's he doing getting a clean break? A defender beaten, 2 passes, one of which is the try assist. 9 from 9 tackles. He does concede 2 penalties. He does have 1 turnover conceded. So it's not a perfect day from the big fella, but pretty tidy one. Just all the offload. Well, it was only 1 offload, but you know what I mean. It's just beautiful. Beautiful. Seeing a prop galloping in space warms my cockles. What can I say? Tight head prop. I've gone with maybe a bit of a strange pick because I've kind of I've gone back to mainly core role for Tom Francis. I think he gave Ellis Genge a pretty hard time at scrum time, didn't he? I've seen since that he apparently maybe shouldn't have been on the field because he took a head knock pretty early on, old Tom Francis. I hope he's all right. But, he didn't really do anything ball in hand. But, 2 passes. But, he gave Ellis Genge a tough time. That's his core role. Tight head prop, get the wood on your opposition loose head. I think Tom Francis was one of the more kind of dominant props this week, but it's hard because the Irish and Italian game didn't really have any scrums, not contested ones anyway. So 11 from 13 tackles is also a good shift. Ends up with a line-out win. I don't remember that, but ultimately no penalties conceded. Genge concedes at least 2 or 3. So I thought Tom Francis at scrum time core role was pretty exemplary. Now hooker, you'll forgive me for going a bit left field here. Objectively, it should probably be Marchand from France, right? He was everywhere, wins a couple of turnovers, very, very busy man. But, hear me out just for a second. Let me have a little bit of fun, please. I've gone with NEMER from Italy. Now, he's a prop. But he comes on because Lucchese's injured, the starting hooker, and then Fiver gets red carded, so they need to bring on a front row replacement to fill in at hooker. Now, he doesn't have to do anything at scrum time because the scrums are uncontested, but he does have to chuck the ball into a line-out. And if you saw Joe Marler chuck the ball into the line-out the other day, not that easy for someone who's not used to doing it. 92%. 92%. The Italian line-out operates fine. Just get this guy to throw the line-out ball in all the time. Yeah, get Fiver or someone to do the lifting. Goodness gracious me. 3 passes along with 14 from 15 tackles. One of those passes, he's in at halfback, chucking the ball out the back of his hand. The guy was just, very confident. Beats a defender, 2 runs, 5 meters. Weird one. But some key moments for him, man. He kind of represents for me, trying your best and doing pretty well in a tough situation for the Italian team generally. So I wanted to get him in there. Objectively, if you want to include the scrum work, which is a key part of the job, you probably go Marchand. But let me have a little bit of fun. Locks, I have gone with an Englishman in MARO ITOJE. He didn't get man of the match in that match, but I think that's just one of those ones where they default. Like guys like DuPont and Smith, Dan Carter probably back in the days, Bodie, any 10s and maybe 9s, guys who are up there for World Player of the Year, backs, guys who get their head on the ball a lot, they tend to get man of the match a lot. ITOJE though, I thought he was showing some proper grind, which was, I don't know, if I was picking it, I probably would have gone with him. But yeah, he's busy. 11 runs, 29 meters is pretty solid for a locks carrying numbers. Locks don't usually get the kind of 4 run meters per carry, but he's making himself real busy. 9 passes and an offload, so 11 runs plus 9 passes. His involvements are really high. 11 from 12 tackles. He wins 3 lineouts. Key part, though, I think, is that I give him the spot this week is those 3 turnovers. 3 turnovers, including the game winner. I think he gets the first one where England opened the scoring. So yeah, ITOJE's involvements, I don't think you can underestimate. He does have a turnover conceded, so it's not a perfect shift, but yeah, big MARO for mine. And then on the other side, I have gone with an Irishman in Ryan Baird. Ryan Baird does seem to be like a midfielder who was just born with a giant body. And they kind of forced him to go into the second row, doesn't he? Like, the way he picks up and scores for that try, that skill level is not there with every second rower, basically. He's a big lump of a man, but he's got some pretty silky skills. 8 runs for 16 meters. Like I said, locks don't usually get the greatest return per meters per carry, but I mean that's still a good involvement level. He has a clean break, which is his try. Remember, it's a charge down, I would imagine. 2 defenders beaten, 5 passes, 13 from 14 tackles is a shift. He has 3 line-out wins, including 1 steal. So he's the only one that's able to give old... Is it NEMER that he... I don't remember if it was NEMER or if it was Lucchese or Fiver that threw the one that got stolen, to be honest. But either way, he's the one who gets it. Otherwise, the Italian lineup's flawless. And 1 turnover conceded. But man, Ryan Baird, seeing that guy galloping in open space is just a sight to behold. Loose forwards, I have gone with another Englishman in COURTNEY Laws. He's just another grinder, isn't he? He's not a real big block-busting, ball-carrying 6 like, I don't know, like a Jerome Kyle or someone like that. But he's got Dombrant there next to him at number 8 to kind of get through those meters. But for all the grindy stuff, I don't think you can get many better than old COURTNEY Laws. 9 runs, 16 meters, kind of similar numbers to what we saw from ITOJE and BAIRD, although ITOJE's numbers are a wee bit better. A defender beaten, 4 passes. He has a line-out win, 13 from 14 tackles. Like, he's one of the ones that puts in like a big double crunching tackle on Tame Basham, I think, to win a penalty. So yeah, he's kind of a killing. Him and Tom Curry pretty much smashed them together. So yeah, he's literally turning defense into points. So that's what you want from a guy like that. He does concede a penalty, but overall, I thought he was pretty impressive. Open side flanker, I managed to squeeze a Scotsman in here. He was maybe the bright spot on otherwise what was a pretty long day at the office for the Scots. RORY DARGE. Again, not a perfect effort because I think he gets held up in one of the tackles that gets stripped and turns into a French try. But he scores a try of his own. He makes Gélon look like not much of a defender when he basically just goes past him for a try. 14 runs for 41 meters is a pretty good return. That's a lot of carrying, and that's effective carrying. He has 2 defenders beaten. He gets 6 passes out, which is pretty, pretty good that he's, getting his hands on the pill. 8 from 9 tackles is good, but key point, 3 turnovers, 1 as well. Him and MARO were the most effective guys at winning that ball this week. So, yeah, RORY DARGE, thought he had a pretty good shift, given that he's, this is his first start for Scotland. So 2 turnovers conceded, not a perfect effort, but yeah, try, some turnovers, some tackles, some carries. Pretty much had a good all-round game. And number 8, I have gone with TOLUPE FALETAU from Wales. Another big defensive shift, really. I've kind of gone with a bit of a defensive mindset in this one. Like, I know it's easy to give the glory to guys who make all the carries and whatnot, but FALETAU, man, 19 from 19 tackles. That's Herculean. He was immense. 13 carries is busy. 29 run meters. I mean, he'd like that to be a bit higher. Meters per carry stakes. But like I said, ITOJE and Laws and whatnot are guys who can get carry as well, get dominant tackles. So you're not always getting go forward ball. 2 defenders beaten, 4 passes and an offload. He wins 1 turnover. He has 1 turnover conceded, but yeah, a big shift from the big man. Really good to see him back in a Wales jersey. They look a better side for having him there. Other guys who you could definitely give a shout out. Woki from France. I've definitely done the French forwards the dirty. I've only got one French forward, despite the fact their forwards really kind of tired that Scottish pack out. Woki was a big part of their defensive shift, and in the air, that guy is just phenomenal. I can see why they keep playing him there. Doris for Ireland had a bunch of carries. Van der Fleer got man of the match. Got through some defensive tackles in his game against the Italians. MARO made like 19 or 18 tackles. He missed like 8, but I mean, come on. They were defending 13v15 or 12v15 at times. So sometimes you've just got to go for it and hope you disrupt the play, not necessarily actually make the tackle. Marchand, like I mentioned, there'd be more, but those are some of the guys who deserve definitely a wee word. Into the backs. We probably will get a bit more French feeling in here. DuPont, I mean, it's easy to give this guy a spot because he's just very good, isn't he? Sometimes you want to kind of go against the grain and not pick him, but I mean, 6 runs for 64 meters is a hell of a return if you're looking for that meters per carry stat. I mean, kick return, when he sets up one of the tries, they just kick him the ball and he just puts his head up, runs and cuts through the Scottish defence. So, yeah, 1 clean break, 3 defenders beaten, 33 passes and an offload. He's got a bunch of kick meters as well, 13 from 14 tackles. He was defensively a handful, the way he shoots out of the line and just makes guys' lives miserable. 2 turnovers conceded from him, so not perfect again. And they kept him on for a lot of the game, like 70-odd minutes. So, yeah, DuPont is a handful as usual. Thomas Williams, I thought, was pretty solid for Wales as well. So if you want to give someone else a shout out, happy to give that to him. Number 10, Marcus Smith, another one of the fanboy guys that I sometimes don't want to pick just because he's so popular with the mainstream press. But I mean, Marcus Smith, he did have a pretty good game. As I said, I wouldn't have given him man of the match in that game. I think ITOJE for mine. But yeah, he does get 18 points, so he kicks the goals. He misses 1. But he also, I mean, some people said he only kicked his goals. That was it. But he did more than just kick his goals. He has 7 runs for 20 meters, so he was taking the ball to the line. He beats a couple of defenders. He has 31 passes, which is a lot of involvements, including a couple of offloads. He makes 11 tackles. He does miss 4. I think Intermac missed 4 as well. So, you know, you'd like to up those numbers a wee bit, but he couldn't catch Cuthbert either when Cuthbert went tearing past him. But yeah, I thought Marcus Smith had a pretty good effort. Intermac was pretty solid as well, a couple of try assists. He was also burned by, was it Kinghorn? At the end, Kinghorn went past him like he was nothing. So he missed a few tackles as well. Didn't run the ball much. Intermac's not really ran the ball a lot this campaign. It's been an interesting shift. He's still distributing well. I mean, like a couple of try assists for Intermac, but there you go. Marcus Smith. Midfield, I've gone with Jonathan Danty from France. Speaking of, when I was talking about BAIRD, saying he's a big lump of a man, Danty's a big lump of a man as well. And yeah, he was a pretty effective big lump of a man. 7 runs, 44 meters. That's some good carrying. He also has 7 passes and 2 offloads. So he's got a nice balance of running and passing, which is kind of what you want, keeping defenders in 2 minds. A couple of defenders beaten. He wins a turnover, 12 from 14 tackles. I think he gets beaten by Tuipulotu at the end of the game, which is one he'd like to have back. But yeah, ultimately he was pretty good on defense. He gets his try, and he gets a try assist. The try is that kind of bounce of the ball, which just luckily bounced his way. But you can only say luck takes you so far because you've got to be running that line to be in the right place at the right time. You've got to be that next guy, right? He was in the second wave of guys. So because he was in that position, he got the ball. He also has a try assist as well. So, yeah, pretty good effort from him. And it's an all-French midfield because I've gone with GAEL FICKOU at 13. I should have mentioned at the start, I get these stats from Opta. So it's not the Six Nations stats. And they calculate run meters a bit different. You'll notice this with FICKOU because Opta only counts run meters, as far as I can tell, if you're going forward. If you're going sideways or backwards, they don't count anything if you got the ball. So FICKOU's run meter stats look low, even he had a bunch of them kind of cutting across field for his try. He does get a try, only the 3 runs, 11 meters. That's what I'm talking about. So it doesn't look like he ran very far, but it's the forward meters they count as far as I can tell. He beats the defender. He has 10 passes. The defender beatings for the try, right? 10 passes. So for a 13, you know, he really gets himself involved. I think he played 9 twice, right, for that first try. Because DUPONT does the big carry from the kick return, gets tackled. He's buried at the bottom of a ruck. France go 2 quick phases. Who's the guy who's there at 9 filling in for him? FICKOU, right? Yeah, he's just got that real good awareness to be in the right place at the right time. If he knows his scrum half's on the floor, he steps in. 9 from 10 tackles, he wins a turnover. And remember I talked about DARGE getting kind of held up in the tackle and then the ball spilling out leading to a try? Who was making one of those tackles? I think it was FICKOU and somebody else. Maybe Taululupe? Yeah, FICKOU. He's everywhere, man. Does concede a penalty, does have a turnover conceded, but ultimately pretty good. Outside backs, we get to left wing, and I put James Lowe. I mean, he had an easier day at the office than he might have otherwise. It's kind of been hard to pick a heap of Irishmen just given that game. I wanted to get them represented. But 13-man Italy, he gets 2 tries and an assist. He sets up Jamison Gibson Park for that try. So that's a good day at the office by any game standards. 15 runs, 95 meters. And not just that, 3 clean breaks, 2 defenders beaten, 16 passes. Like this guy, talking about guys who were everywhere. I mean, Ireland had a lot of ball. He is everywhere. 1 from 1 tackles. He does have a turnover conceded, and he does have a penalty conceded. But also 354 kick meters is more than anybody else this week. If you wanted a guy who's got a big old boot, James Lowe is your guy. They use that boot to very good effect to Ireland. So, yeah, I think the next was like DuPont with like 310. Nobody else even had 300 kick meters. So, yeah, I don't know how many kicks he actually made, but his boot is a big one. Right wing, I've gone with Damian from France. He had a pretty good outing, didn't he? He's another guy who gets 2 tries and an assist. And he probably has what would be like, in other sports, it'd be like a secondary assist for the Moefana try, right? Because he's about to go into touch, gives it to Bai gets it to Moefana, and Moefana goes over for the try. So if he's not there to get that ball, keep it in play, then that one's not a try. But Penaud's skills, pretty silky. He doesn't have good footballing skills, apparently. At least he struggled with his feet when there was one potential chance with some ball going through. But 2 tries and assist, 8 runs, 85 meters. Great return. More than 10 meters a carry. 3 clean breaks, 3 defenders beaten, 5 passes, 2 offloads, 1 from 2 tackles. The guy is just on fire. He's been good all tournament, hasn't he? So, yeah, one of the best wingers in the world right now. And fullback, it was nice to go with the debutant, young Michael Lowry from Ireland. He stepped up pretty well. Again, like not going to be his toughest day at the office given the circumstances, but still, man, you got that pressure on you when you're in your first cap. And he just took to it like a duck to water. So, also 2 tries and an assist. Remember, he's got to beat a man for his first one. I think he beats Brex. I mean, Brex has got to cover wide, so he's probably in 2 minds in case Lowry straightens or if he's going to pass, because there's going to be numbers. So Brex has kind of got to cover both with them having not enough defenders in the line, but Lowry still straightens. He backs himself. He doesn't just shovel it on. Backs himself and beats his man. So 2 tries and assists, 13 runs, 80 meters, also a great return. He has a clean break, 3 defenders beaten, 5 passes, 3 from 3 tackles. He does have 2 turnovers conceded, so not perfect, but also very good. Other guys worthy of a shout. Duan van der Merwe still looks dangerous. He had like 5 defenders beaten in his shift. Who else did I have written down? Cuthbert from Wales. Goodness gracious me, that was a massive shift from him. And he's really unlucky not to go. He gets pinged a few times because he gets so far forward. His support guys aren't there, and he gets pinged for not releasing. So that was kind of a team thing. Like I mentioned, Intermac was pretty good, but he will also not be too pleased with the Kinghorn try. There's others. I won't go on all day. It's already been 19 minutes. So, yeah. You guys let me know what you reckon. Who would you have your team composed of? Hooker. Would you have an actual hooker, or are you happy with Neymar stepping up to the plate, 92% line out, passing from halfback, just doing a bit of everything? Marcus Smith, as I said, kind of the popular choice, but not always the purist's choice. Anyway, if you want British and Irish Lions gear, they're having a sale still. England Rugby store has also got gear going off, so 2 links down in the description for those stores. If you guys want to check them out, they are affiliates of the channel, so yeah, have a wee look if you're keen. Otherwise, you guys take care. I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.